Subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and never miss an update from Latestly.
What are we announcing today for supporting agriculture and allied activities? I'll be announcing 11 measures, and from among them, 8 of them relate to strengthening infrastructures, strengthening capacities, building better logistics and so on. So 8 of the 11 relate to such things where government allocates money, activities will be undertaken in such a way that very quickly we can ramp up on storage capacities, logistics and so on. The rest 3 today of the 11 will pertain to governance and administrative reforms. So that's the picture I'd like to put before you, covering agriculture. First 8 steps are towards money is going for infrastructure, capacity building. And from among the 8, so the first one is we provide 1 lakh crore for aggregators, FPOs, primary agriculture cooperative societies, farmer producer organizations which I mentioned, FPOs, all for strengthening the farm gate infrastructure. Farm gate infrastructure are cold chains, post-harvest management infrastructure, storage centers, yards from where they have to do it. So this fund for 1 lakh crore is being created. Here private entrepreneurs, agricultural entrepreneurs, startups, all of whom are now looking at facilitating by procuring from the farmers and reaching out with value addition to the global markets, don't have the infrastructure. So this fund for 1 lakh crore will immediately address that issue, and that fund will be created at the earliest. The next of the 8 steps towards capacity building, logistics and so on is for food enterprises who are micro in size. We shall be providing a fund of 10,000 crores. It's a scheme which will get executed with a cluster-based approach. I recall Prime Minister Modi when he spoke on the 12th of May, speaking about be vocal for local. This is one of the ways in which the local capacities, the local value-added product can have a global outreach, can reach out for global markets and build brands. They can create products of global standards, and therefore marketing them globally will also be assisted through this fund. Most of the products that we are aiming to deal with in this scheme will be related to health and wellness products, nutritional products, herbal products, organic products, and products which are now being used as alternatives for a healthy living. So this we expect will benefit 2 lakh MFEs, micro food enterprises. 2 lakh of them will benefit by bringing them up to that level, modernizing their production techniques, giving them capacities, branding their produce and so on. For activities related to marine inland fisheries and also aquaculture, this money would be provided. We expect it will give employment for about 55 lakhs of people, and it will help in doubling India's export to reach 1 lakh crores. We also hope that this will bring in better standards in traceability, laboratory networks will be provided, fishing vessels, new fishing vessels can be given for fishermen and so on. New fishing harbors can also be built, and during the ban period, in the sense not the COVID ban period, but every year fishermen don't go to the sea during a certain period. During that period also they can get some kind of assistance. So personal boat and insurance for boats, both personal and also both can be insured. Insurance will be provided. So this we expect will lead to additional fish production of about 70 lakh tons over the next 5 years. This is very much just to refer to what from January 20, Pradhan Mantri ji has been looking at the foot and mouth disease of animals. Many of our animals, because they have not been vaccinated, suffered from this foot and mouth disease, as a result of which many of our milk related producers or dairy or even animals which get infected could not be coming over to the markets. So farmers or animal keepers had a lot of suffering. So in order that we ensure 100% vaccination of all cattle, all buffalo, all sheep, all goat and pig population, nearly 53 crore animals. India is one of the largest livestock bearing country, and therefore for a country of that size with one of the largest stock of animal with us, FMD has to be eradicated. Therefore, till date, beginning January, in spite of the lockdown difficulties, 1.5 crore cows and buffaloes have been tagged and they have been vaccinated. So traceability can be established. Why am I saying this? This had a commitment of over 13,000 crores from January of this year. That amount is also flowing, and now post the lockdown, in the green zones at least, this work shall continue with great speed. Animal husbandry, particularly dairy sector, can now really take the advantage of this kind of a activity which Government of India has done. Therefore, 15,000 crores will be spent for dairy infrastructure. This will help, and we also hope that many private investments can also come into this area, because it has great potential for export, great potential within India for the market. Various items, whether it is milk or powdered milk or butter, ghee, or even any cheese varieties which we need for domestic or for international consumption, are all possible. So we aim to support private investment also in dairy processing, value addition, and also for cattle feed infrastructure. Cattle feed is a potential area not just for India. Export of cattle feed also has a lot of scope. And therefore, Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund of 15,000 crores is being established, and that can work as as an incentive. We can also give incentives for establishing of plants, industrial plants, for export of niche products, like the way I said, cheese or processed milk or milk powder or cream. Such units will have to be established, which are scientifically done, and standards can be established. So Government of India will also give incentives for such plants which will get established in India, where you have healthy animals, vaccinated animals, good milk being available. So dairy industry. Promotion of herbal cultivation. There is a National Medicinal Plants Board. 4,000 crores of rupees is getting allocated for this purpose. This board has already supported 2.25 lakh hectares of area under cultivation for medicinal plants. We think greater 10 lakh, up to 10 lakh hectares will also be brought in for herbal cultivation in the next 2 years, with an additional outlay of 4,000 crore, which is what I'm announcing now. And this will help generate at least 5,000 crores of income for those farmers who are engaged in this cultivation. Additional extents are also being expected to be brought in. But more importantly, we again refer to a speech by the Honorable Prime Minister, where he had said, on both the banks of the river Ganga, there can be herbal and medicinal plants grown, so that it can benefit the local farmers. And these medicinal and herbal plants are now in great demand globally also. So this board will undertake about 800 hectares of area, which will form a corridor along both the sides of river Ganga for growing of herbal and medicinal plants. This is a small matter, but of great eco significance. and it's going to help in agriculture in the future also. As it is in the Western world, we hear a lot of people speak how the disappearing population of the bee, the honey bee, has led to crops now suffering for want of pollination agents. So cross-pollination, which happens through bees, don't happen that much like before. As a result, beekeeping is an initiative which is recognized globally. It is an amount, but it is not a very big amount when you're comparing several lakhs of crores, but it is an amount which is important, that can be at a level of absorption capacity also. 500 crores for beekeeping initiatives, which will benefit 2 lakh beekeepers in the rural areas, and who can then produce ghee. Also, importantly, I'd like to draw your attention, in India today, wax for all purposes, edible, medicinal purposes, are being imported. Even that import of wax can be stopped. It may not be a big item like crude oil, but it is certainly important that the country will have to have its pollination agents, as much as give jobs for the rural women and beekeepers of both the genders, but also look at the way in which imports increase even due to wax. It's a small reference that I'm making, but it is an initiative which will have a ripple effect on the rural economy, and therefore government will implement a scheme for this, which will include marketing, which will include value addition, which will include post-harvest facilities for the beekeepers. From top to total is what I want to refer to. This also is an existing scheme which gets additional 500 crores. Many of the supply chains have been disrupted for the farmers, particularly during the lockdown. Operation Greens is a scheme which is running at the moment to take care of tomatoes, onions and potatoes which are being cultivated, which come to feed the cities, and they've had very serious implication because they are perishable and they had to have distress sales. So farm level support needs to be given, otherwise such distress cannot be prevented. So the scheme features are such that they get 50% subsidy on transportation. They get also 50% subsidy for storage. This is a pilot which we extend for the next 6 months. It will be expanded and also be extended once the pilot phase is cleared. But this is something which has been given an accent now post the lockdown, because during the lockdown, vegetables were perishing, cities were wanting to have it, logistics affected, so there was a break in the value chain.